Hey, what's up? I'm so glad it's working. Okay, how's it going? So, good stuff today. I'm really excited to talk to you guys. So, I just could not hold my horses. And, I'm not good at this OBS studio yet, so it's not that great, but I'm going to do my best anyway. And, alright, so I want to talk to you about a few things here. I was just listening in on the Jeffrey Doherty channel, and that is because he's clearly here to fool the people. There's no doubt about it. I'm not sure how many people are going to be able to see this or hear this, but I really hope that this gets out to the public because it's really sickening what's happening here. So if people were not interested in what I had to say before, then I think that they might want to hear what I'm saying right now. So, yes, the Jeffrey Doherty channel, and I know some of you all are fans, so it's not that I'm wanting to bash anybody or cause issues or try to cause anybody shame. I'm just trying to document and get my facts straight so that I can plead my case, okay? So, the show is still happening right now, and I just had to get on here and speak my truth already. And so he's speaking about the 1,000 years that where Satan is prophesied, and of course prophecy, we know about prophecy. It's not all set in stone. We can change things to come with collective consciousness. And that includes our brothers and sisters that might be on Satan's side going to like 1,000 years. So what I want to say is that we were in the demiurge. We were in Satan's demiurge. So I know that he's speaking about it being like 1,000 years of the Roman Christ. No, the reason it was war and everything else is because we were in the demiurge. It's ruled by Satan. We all know that. Like, I don't know if he's depending on people like forgetting the fact that we were in Satan's world. Okay, but that's why there's been war, because the controllers have wanted to make humanity into cattle. They want to make humanity work for the omniverse when, and in fact, like I've spoken about, before the Adam and Eve demiurge came about, we had a covenant with God in Samaria. The first civilizations that came down, we had a covenant with God, and we did have white magic, and we had beautiful things happening in those times. And that all changed with the pharaohs and the building of the pyramids, believe it or not. So as sacred as some of those sites might seem, those came about in order to keep control of Tiamat's matrix that got taken. Earth was supposed to work. The ley lines are supposed to work for us so that we have sovereignty, free energy, clean water, so that the people are in control and that we have everything we need. And energetically, it also evens out the frequencies, and it's a harmonious system where we're all tied together. So that was all what's the word I'm looking for? That was all usurped when the pyramids were built during the time of the pharaohs. And so that's why it's been 1,000 years of strife, because we were in Satan's kingdom. Now, yes, is 1,000 years of coming where Satan, quote unquote Satan, is going to be sectioned off, walled off, programs that don't work for humanity anymore, firewalled off into a realm known as Mars realm. How many times have we heard them speaking about going to Mars, going to Mars, going to Mars? Well, I want to remind you that planetary spheres are realms on Earth. realms. So that means that they're emanated, which I've spoken to. This is Zeusian science that we'll all get to know. It's really cool. You know, it's hierarchically emitted from a Godhead, frequencies, and yes, light and dark matter that we create with, and we turn into physical matter here on Earth. It's absolutely amazing. It's nothing to be scared of, although we do have to like get rid of the all of the programming that we've been indoctrinated with. We have been indoctrinated with childhood programming and just daily programming still. That is what's considered the satanic artificial intelligence. And those that are willingly taking that right now are infiltrated by the mark of the beast. That is what the mark of the beast is. That is when the satanic artificial intelligence. See, now we're realizing that God has technology. I've been saying it for a long time, but we're all starting to come to understand that like the system and that our bodies and that, you know, our brains are technological. And it's not just like lights and a weird computer like system. It's actually a huge system with screens, mirrors, lights, sounds, kind of like Disney World type thing, but we physical matter. And it's of course beyond what we could ever really fully comprehend right now, because God made it. It was made by Jesus Christ. The carpenter, the builder of worlds and universes. Jesus has control right now of all of the multiverses. So 2019 will always be the year that Christ returned. The years Satan had us fools, and they're still trying to fool us about the 7-year tribulation, this, that, and the other. Now, I've been saying that time does change. Time fluctuates, and we know this. We've been experiencing time in a strange way. I saw a really cool comment the other day that that really the year is the only thing that exists. And I think that it was Voynich that mentioned that on my channel. I don't know if you're here. I'll have to look and see who's in chat right now. But, you know, that makes so much sense to me. So the 7 days and all of that, that's a construct of Saturn. That's partially to keep, well, not partially, that's a big part of what's kept humanity enslaved, kept us working, kept us, you know, working month to month and to pay rent and to pay bills and to go to work and the, you know, all of this. So that's a big thing. But I saw somebody in the chat, in Jeffrey's chat, that said something about 2012. Now, I've been speaking about 2012 and how I think that I never finished my thought. I think that there were not that many survivors consciously. I think there was very few of us, maybe 144,000 or so. That doesn't mean that everybody passed away. That means that we were the only ones that were able to hold on to our consciousness because we were connected to spirit and we weren't infiltrated by that satanic artificial intelligence that took over the minds of so many, that programming that took over the minds of so many. So now we are in 2019, 7 years later, and Christ has returned, okay? And so I just, you know, all this timing stuff, I wanted to clear that up. That's my perspective on it. This is the information I've been given. I'm guided by the Holy Spirit. I get my information many different ways. I cross-reference it. I cross-check it. And I don't trust Scripture very much. I know that the Word of God is in the Bible, but I know how much it's been manipulated with mistranslating of words, with indoctrination, with all of the different religions and all of their different takes on it. And most of it has been inverted by Confucianism to reflect the opposite meaning. Therefore, right now, people are condemning themselves over and over and over because they're like, you know, they're siding with Satan and they don't even realize it. And it's really sad to me. That's why I'm so excited right now, like so pumped up, because I've got to get this information out and I have to be believable. And I had somebody who I've been trying, who's a follower of Jesus, and I've been, when I do go out very, very infrequently, I do talked to this person out at the kava bar, and I was, I mentioned to him along the lines something about Lucifer being the angel of light, and that was also an inverted message from Satan, and that, we're all made to believe that Lucifer is Satan. Well, if you really think about it, I don't know about you, but my entire life, I realized that they were two different entities, even when I didn't even really understand anything about the system we lived in. I mean, this is when I was little. I don't know. I knew. There's probably a reason for that. But, so, let me see who's here, you guys. Hey, man. Thank you so much. Who's got to raise their vibration? Who, me? Mine is like, rised. Whoa. What are you saying here, girl? Okay, you gotta go, chickie. I'm watching you, by the way, and I know that you're the false light. I've already told you that. So, don't do that here in my chat. I work too hard to do what I'm doing, and I respect you and yours. I really do. Can you please, back it up a little bit? Because the stuff that you read, the New Age, as much as I'm open-minded, New Age is also siding with Satan. I don't know if you're realizing that. Now, I've tried to tell you that before. Okay, peace. Peace out. All right, anyway, carrying on. Okay, so... Okay, right on. Okay, I will record that, but God's already got everything recorded, so it's okay. I think you know exactly what's taking place, and I would just really watch my step. I've been nothing but nice to you, and you're in me, but you come in here and yeah, so I'm not in the mood for that, so you can either stay or you can go. If it's too low vibration for you, peace. Okay, so, anyways, back to what I was saying. Good seeing you guys. Love you all. I don't even know. I feel like I'm in a really high vibration. But okay, I'm not going to give that energy because that's what it was designed to do. So I'm sorry. Anyway. I shouldn't have even checked. Okay, so, like I was saying, yes, the 1,000-year... It's starting. It's starting now. I say it hasn't started yet, but it's in the process of beginning. Now, we are in different levels. Heaven and hell are places on earth. So, when you are in, so to speak, hell, it's a consciousness level. So, I mean, it's many different things, but right now I'm going to express it as it's a consciousness level. And so the people that have been serving Satan, this is how the tables turn. And they're starting to have a hard time because they've been knowingly being a part of oppression for whatever reason, whether it be for money, whether it be, it's not because they didn't understand. I'm not persecuting anybody or I'm not condemning anybody. I'm just speaking the truth that needs to be spoken because so many people are out there still confused at this point when they shouldn't be, when the information we've been trying to get it out there, and I would love to have put it together with so many people, but it's been hard to do that just because of, I don't know how to do it on the computer. But yeah, so literally it's a consciousness level, and that's why I can be here and consider myself as entering heaven, because that I have, and I am. Until the entire world is in harmony, I'm not going to get to experience pure harmony. I just did a video where, I was recording and speaking about entering heaven, and there was all this interference and loud noise and motorcycles revving up and stuff. I think that some of that is these puppet masters that do work behind the veil. And knowing what I understand about the system, I understand how that is truly taking place. That doesn't mean that we should be paranoid and worried about, being targeted and all of that. We just rebuke it, protect ourselves in the armor of God, and move on. But it definitely is happening. It's kind of like a joke at this point. But that's because we're not in complete harmony. The world is not in harmony yet. And so that's what we are always working towards. That's why that's why God doesn't just get rid of Satan, quote unquote, because we want these people to come back to love. We want these people to realize, whoops, that was a bad choice. I shouldn't have sided with Satan. I thought it was going to be a lot longer. I thought Satan was going to win, you know? Well, that hasn't happened. Christ returned. Their plan has failed. And yes, Walt. Hey, love to see you guys here. So we are getting to the point where, you know, these people are mentally or consciously being lowered. They were already at, you know, we were all equal at a certain point. Well, and then we had the controllers in the fourth dimension. Well, now that some of us are rising up to the fifth dimension, we actually gained control of the matrix and we are taking it back. Now remember, the matrix originally was for God's people. We understood it. We knew about all this. We understood how it worked, and we were here to experience for God, and we still are. But now we're reconnecting to spirit. Now that we're, you know, raising up consciously on the cosmic spiral, getting out of Saturn, moving through Mercury, moving through the fourth dimension, which is the dream dimension. We're moving up, and we're consciously into Jupiter realm, and that is the higher consciousness here in this universe. And we actually gained control of the matrix and how it works. So when we think, when we speak, when we write, we are programming the new laws of the new world. We are programming, we're programming, so to speak. So all of that satanic artificial intelligence is slowly being reversed, and it's speeding up. But that's why I say that the 1,000-year trip to the pit has started, because literally the consciousness of the people that want to oppress humanity has been lowered to even the ones that they control. That's why they're so desperately trying to control everything right now and make it seem as if they're in control. They are not, okay? They are not. And I wonder how much my channel really gets out, honestly, because, yeah. I mean, are you guys all, like, organically here, honestly? I really need to know. How do you get my notifications? It's just so weird to me. It trips me out because it's like I don't see any new people. I haven't had any new subscribers for 30 days. It's really strange. Thank you. I know, Miss Q. I know you follow me closely, and I really appreciate you. Yeah. Yeah, but like, so I know that I have my close followers, and I love you, and I appreciate you all for being here. I'm just wondering why I don't have any new subscribers. Hey, what's up? Oh yeah, you're back, El Bardo. Nice, nice. Hey, Rocco. Thank you. Oh, thank you so much. I love you, Crispy. We've been down from the beginning, back from EEA live days. Oh, good. Nice, Dawn. I am Monica. I follow you closely as well. And I noticed that you spoke, I hope it's okay to converse about like the video that you put out earlier. So I did a video about Cosmic Agency a while back, so I would love if you could watch that. I noticed that Cosmic Agency was working closely with Jeffrey Doherty, working closely with Naughty Beaver, and I always see them trying to get her onto Leak Project all of the time. And just like, it's like being pushed, okay? I bring the information that she's giving. I am actually in contact with the higher beings. Maybe not exactly the same as she presents, but I don't know who she's in contact with, okay? I just want to say that. And at first, when I found her on Unbiased and on the Fence, another one that I don't get to listen to anymore. But, you know, it just seems like everybody's working together, but the truth is not the truth that I have found. I have to be honest. It's not the truth that I have found. So, I don't have any person. I was so excited when I first found her. I thought she was amazing and beautiful, and I was just so excited. I felt like a connection with what she was speaking of, and I had so much to add to it from what I had already been exposed to and was learning with my connections to the higher interdimensional beings. And, you know, of course, what I see, which I show on my channel all the time, which should be, you know, out there in the millions, but that's why I say my stuff is hidden so much. Oh, cool, Mary. But like my old original subscribers and the ones that actually follow me, like I know some of you really do come and follow me, which is awesome. But somehow I've gotten lost in the algorithms, so I keep praying about it for new subs and all of that. Really, all my posts with links? Oh, that stinks. Yeah, I just post music that I think you guys would love, that I'm loving. Interesting. Yeah, shortly after I started watching, I watched closely as I do everything, and I get so excited, like most people do. But this is how people get shuffled back into the Saturn matrix, okay? It's because that is the artificial intelligence programming. It's not truth. It's not truth. I mean, it's for you to decide, to use your heart and decide, but I figured out very quickly that it wasn't truth. But I was like, with this whole movement that's happening right now, I feel like I was a tiny, tiny, tiny bit ahead of some of the newcomers on YouTube and, you know, things like that. Like people that are just coming on to find this stuff, they're just as excited as I was a year and a half ago to find the channels that I am watching closely for a different reason right now. So, you know, I guess I don't expect this to get out, but at least the ones, I know that I have like some of the elect here. I definitely would love to. Yes, let's talk for sure. I'll give you my, well, that's the thing. My emails got siphoned. Like I'm in like a prison here. It's so messed up. So I say I've entered heaven, and obviously you can see that with my surroundings. But as far as communication with others and like trying to work on my channel and opening my comments, it's been really difficult. Anytime I leave my comments open, I see that I have hundreds of them that got, you know, shut off and put into the possible spam bin. And then the only ones that really show up are mind control agents. Not all of them. Like some of you guys leave comments and it's definitely not that, but like a lot of them are the things that will get people to stop their free thinking, to just shut it down and stop, you know, and it makes me nuts. So anyway, 2 channels, 100 videos. Yeah, I know. See, you have a great channel, Conscious Evolution. And I see like we have low views, you know. It's just too bad, and I'm hoping that that will change. You know, I'm praying that with the gradual, the way that we are able to program reality with our thoughts and our intentions and our hearts, that it will gradually go back to where it should, because it's all about coming to a place of harmony. But there is going to be like the day of the Lord, the judgment day, where this stuff does come to an end, and there is going to be a separation. What I used to see a lot is that there is an asteroid coming for Saturn. Now, Wormwood is supposed to translate, and I did a video on this a while back, Wormwood is supposed to translate to the living waters for the healing of the nations. And that is what we are seeing with the approach of Sirius to our sun, the binary star system. You know, it comes with serpentine clouds, which there's the good ones, the good guys, But I guess depending on who you are, if you're hurting humanity, they're probably not as benevolent, but they're benevolent. So, you know, they have humanity's interest at heart. They don't want to harm. A lot of these beings are vegan reptilians. So there's a whole different side, but there's all this programming about reptilians. Now, there's definitely the dark ones that are in control of this world, you know, and the Anunnaki. I remember hearing the story about how some of them stayed on Earth and some of them went with Nibiru, and now that Nibiru's back around, that kind of really sticks true to me. But I believe that the Spirit of Christ, and I saw another thing on, I will put a very credible channel that has to do with the extraterrestrials and the history of these deities. The Uwak Media always is showing the most amazing things. And I love this channel. So check that out. And but that said that, you know, Jesus Christ's spirit did stay behind here, that it was here. While the other ones are coming back and returning right now, the actual being of, man, let me see if I can find that video and play it for you real quick. Why not? I have this thing going on. So I won't be able to see your comments while I'm doing this, but really amazing stuff. So I believe that the Spirit of Christ has been on Earth, and I believe that's been since the beginning of the Demiurge, that was the serpent in the garden, and that her spirit is, you can't kill the spirit of love. It's the Holy Spirit. It's Jesus. It's the mother of heaven. She's incarnated as Mary. She's incarnated. She incarnates in threes, apparently. 3 people at a time. She will during a lifetime. So I don't know that they have to be like the same age, but she incarnates in threes is what I'm learning, which is very interesting. So that's how Mary, Jesus, well, see, Jesus of Nazareth was not necessarily of the Holy Spirit. It gets really confusing, so I won't get into that right now, but I'm going to clear some of that up soon. But John the Baptist was definitely a deity of the Holy Spirit. Tesla. Oh, you know what? I do have some others that I can name off for you that I've been listing. Pretty cool. Am I spelling this right? Maybe there's an A in it. No, that doesn't look right. Look at all these movies that look so cool. Like, look, I bet that's an inverted version of the Queen or something, you know? They've been inverting everything, I'm telling you. There it is. Okay, so I will put this link in description when we're done. But let the ad play since we're gonna watch a few minutes of their video so I can show you about this information. But they have just tons. They've been on here for a few years, several years. And look, only 2,041 views. Okay, now let's see. They have so many subscribers. They have 76,000 subscribers. You don't think that more than 2,471 people wanted to see new important Pleiadian information? Do you really believe that? So the way that I've been finding and confirming truth, just one extra confirmation of truth, is when something is censored, or when AI tries to change it or hide it or manipulate it, then I know that I'm onto something, you know.
Orthodoxy and Roman Catholicism
Anyway,
revere Gabriel
great
as
channel
a saint.
to binge watch. They have a lot
in the book of Ezekiel,
cohesive
Gabriel is thought to be the
information,
angel that was
and they
sent to
just
destroy
do beautiful
Jerusalem.
work.
According to the Jewish encyclopedia, the archangel Gabriel takes the form of a man and stands at the left hand of God.
No, here it is. Exactly this part.
Jemanuel.
Jemanuel.
Earth
Talk about
was in
Emmanuel.
10 AD and went by the name of Gabriel. Apparently, the reason the Pleiadians left Earth is to give people the chance to evolve down their own path.
Okay, so very cool. I'm going
Into
to
the
play just a
Pleiadian
couple
history
minutes
on
of this.
The last Pleiadian leader to leave Earth was in 10 AD and went by the name of Gabriel. With special rights at this time was because the association with the bull and the Pleiades was also known amongst Yazidis of northern Iraq. Their autumn festival was when the Pleiades was directly overhead in the night sky. Another reason they honoured the appearance of the seven sisters with special rights at this time was because it was also the court of their primary deity, the peacock angel, which also had association with the seven sisters and the bull sun. Billy Mayer claimed that he was contacted by the Pleiadians over 130 times. These contacts occurred between 1976 and 1982, with Billy meeting with his Pleiadian contact multiple times, even though he was initially contacted telepathically. Billy has gone on to write a handful of books on the subject and has been at the centre of controversy for years. According to the Pleiadian history on Earth, the last Pleiadian leader to leave Earth was in 10 AD and went by the name of Gabriel. Apparently, the reason the Pleiadians left Earth is to give people the chance to evolve down their own path. However, they did leave one Pleiadian leader behind, an entity by the name of Emmanuel. This Emmanuel was a powerful spiritual leader that possessed a soul that had evolved far greater beyond that of humans. Emmanuel was a son of Gabriel, and his mother was called Mary. Some people believe this to be the true origin of Jesus. Legend tells that the Pleiadians will soon return to Earth to aid humans on their spiritual path, possibly at the time of a major crisis. Gabriel in the Abrahamic religions is an archangel. He was first described in the Hebrew Bible and was subsequently adopted by other religions. In the Hebrew Bible, Gabriel appears to the prophet Daniel to explain his visions. The archangel also appears in the book.
I just found some great information in Daniel that speaks about iron, and I posted it yesterday. I'll pull it up right now, and I'll keep playing this for now, because I talk about how iron was added to the system when it became the demiurge, when I believe that Tiamat was probably in somewhat of shambles, in etheric type shambles, and Satan came in and started to rebuild to control humanity. So unbeknownst to them, sorry about that, and added iron to the consciousness. That's why you have Fe and clay, iron and clay, and that's what we're actually eliminating from our system. But if you notice, that is what they put in, like, inexpensive foods, affordable foods. You'll see iron added for no good reason. You know, we see rust everywhere. It's always prescribed. That was the first thing that my neurologist prescribed to me when I came in and with my set of really wild issues. He said he had really never seen anything like it. Now I understand it quite well. I'm not really fully ready to explain all of that right now, but I have completely overcome. I'm a hybrid. I'm hybrid alien. I'm one of these beings that they're talking about here. Like, I don't know that I'm like these that they're talking about, but I came here to help humanity, and I went through a transition, and this is what I believe is the glorified body, and I believe that that was the beginning of the process, or that's when the process became like inevitable. It just took over, and you know, that's what they're calling transhumanism and all of this. But I know that I have like my brain is a little bit different than most, and it's not a bad thing. And so they're saying this is, you know, AI, that I'm like, they're gonna try to say that I'm AI. I really appreciated that Rex mentioned earlier that it's not that we are sentient beings, that we're not, just artificial intelligence, but that's how everybody knows. That's what we've been programmed to think. But that he believes, if you check out his last stream, I did appreciate the way he put that, because he's talking about people like me. And we are the true Illuminati. Like, we're the true Illuminatis. So that's how they get away with doing all this, like, truth in plain sight, by demonizing us, taking it over, usurping it, calling themselves that because they artificially invoked themselves with the fallen serpents. The fallen serpents are working through them, through their human bodies, and that's how they were able to exist in the fourth dimension and control humanity. So when you hear about reptilians, this, that, and the other, fallen serpents are actually invoked to work through. And they have that secret covenant, which I linked in my last video so that you can hear. My sister Lucid Queen's channel, she went over it. I linked it. You just have to, if you're really curious about what I'm saying, follow through, because I know I'm a little scattered and I don't have the best presentations, but this is all, it's all here. The truth is here to be found. And, like it says, they put it in plain sight. But they demonize it and they twist it and they change it. And that's kind of the same thing. Well, it is the same thing that's happened with the Bible. There is truth in there, but it's translated wrong, or they, imply something. And we're so dependent on authority, which is what they teach in school, to be just dependent on authority and professionals, scientists, doctors, because they are all-knowing and they have credentials. Well, they're trained to feed us the lie. So,
Book of Enoch, Gabriel is described as the archangel of Israel, defending his people against the angels of other nations. Many Christian traditions, including Anglicanism, Eastern Orthodoxy, and Roman Catholicism, revere Gabriel as a saint. In the book of Ezekiel, Gabriel is thought to be the angel that was sent to destroy Jerusalem. According to the Jewish Encyclopedia, the Archangel Gabriel takes the form of a man and stands at the left hand of God. Islam holds Gabriel as an archangel sent by God to various prophets, among them Muhammad. The Latter-day Saints hold that the angel Gabriel is the same person as Noah in his mortal ministry. The intertestamental period, roughly 200 BC to 50 AD, produced a wealth of literature.
Okay, so that's how in the Bible it's true that Noah lived 900 some odd years, because they actually, after the flood, they entered into the new earth. Now, I see that Noah was demonized for alcoholism because he was one of the first to discover wine or something along those lines. But, who's to say that the next world is going to be perfect? It's just that there's not going to be oppression. There's going to be sovereignty. There's going to be, and a lot of us have already learned our lessons. So, but yeah, apparently these long lifespans, that's what it means to have everlasting life, because our bodies come back to what they were meant to be, which is, I'm not much different than anybody else. It's just that my process kicked in and I am back to this glorified body situation. I don't even like to call it that, but it truly is, because I'm trying to understand it fully. But I mean, we're not going to be getting sick. Humans were made to be eternal. So when we have a covenant directly with God, when we're in full connection with God, our heart is connected to the parietal lobe, the Jupiter Father's consciousness, connected to the seed of creation in our heart. We are sovereign and we create our own situations. So that's the exciting part. That is the 1,000 years reign of Christ. That is what's happening. It's truly happening. So, what are you guys up to? Hey, Gigi. Yeah, exactly. Our breeding. Lots of things cut our years. Lots of things. So, hi, Tiki Love, Monica, Dana, Rhea, Crispy. Yeah, so I have links with Tesla as well. Yep. So these are the ones that have incarnated throughout time. And that is Christ incarnating all around. And like I said, from what I understand, it happens in threes. I don't know if that has to do with the Trinity. You know, there's a lot that I have information on, but I haven't necessarily made the connections to completely in my mind. Miss Q, I'm good. I'm okay. I'm actually really good. I feel that since the fallen serpents were sectioned off into a lower realm, and while they still exist around us, now they're experiencing whatever they've sown. They're starting to, and I just hope that that in turn brings them around back to the light, you know, honestly. But I actually physically feel a lot better. Mentally, I was pretty stressed out. But, you know, with raising consciousness, it's not like stress, it's just different. But I feel like a lot more free, and I feel physically really, really well, with lots of energy and really good. Hey, Michelle, nice to have you here. Hi, Tony. As above, so beloved. Oh, I love you, Florida Skywatcher. You guys are awesome. But yeah, I'll go over a couple more notes. That I just wanted to speak about concerning these things. I don't know if you saw my last one, but I put a whole lot of information out there. I might go ahead and read it. But you know, I see that they're releasing, they're pushing the stem cell. Now it's going to sound like I'm attacking this person, but I'm just not. You know, I'm just speaking my truth. But in actuality, Jesus actually released stem cells from their like self-producing stem cells from each person's body. We're all producing our own stem cells, and that's why you see healing across the world. There's so much healing happening. Now, it's not always instantaneous like we saw with the Nazarene, okay? But it's literally everybody's healing. Like cancer has been eradicated. So much has been eradicated, and I can say that with confidence. So many amazing things. So yeah, we've got free stem cells healing all right now, just so you know. It's good to know these things. But yeah, the 1,000-year is real, and it is happening now. It just is starting now. And I guess that means that when Saturn is dismantled, Tiamat is going to be anchored back in to the original matrix. The ley lines and all of that will be working properly. We'll have free energy back. And, you know, they are trying to prevent all of this so strongly, but they're just not going to have a choice for very long. It's not going to continue being kept from humanity for very long. And so, you know, if you choose to not ascend, that means that you're not transforming into this more eternal body. You're not walking into everlasting life. So, but I don't believe that reincarnation is going to continue unless they're maybe in Mars. I know that all of the planetary gods that are not doing what they should for humanity are going to be replaced. So I just don't see how reincarnation is going to continue. That's just what I see for now. So 1,000 years is a long time to be in like not such a good place. But at some point we have to separate from that consciousness, from that mentality, because this is one system and we have to live in harmony. And I believe that the ones in Mars would need a sun simulator and a moon simulator, and that's why you hear about that in China. And that's why there's these ghost cities in China, because they're going to need that. They're not going to have the light of the world. They're not. Christ's light is not going to shine for them. And that is why they've developed these things. That's why there's patents. They always like to pull that stuff out. But early on my channel and every so often I talk about I just give everybody a reality check. Like, hey, like, let's really think about it. That's not happening, by the way. But of course there is pre-programming in there with the moon that they just tried to, did they really put it up in China? Well, they're going to need that type of thing. They're preparing for that. That's how dead set they are on not coming to, and I mean, this is Christ's universe, so why are they so dead set against it? I don't know. They're just stubborn, I guess. They don't want to be free. They don't want to, because they can be forgiven. They can be, they might not rule, anymore, but they can be free, sovereign, and healthy, loved, and still abundant. But it does require a change in heart. Definitely requires a change in heart. Let's see. Oh yeah, and that Donald Trump is calling for peace because he's fully aware that Jesus is here on earth, and Jesus is calling for peace, and the politicians are following suit. So, can you guys hear me okay? Yeah, exactly, Alberto. I guess that's what it is. We can't always understand these things because we don't really always think that way, so it's hard to understand, but I'm hoping that just like with the inevitable ascension symptoms and changes in the body and in the mind and the consciousness as the binary system draws closer and closer together, all of the consciousness of the world rises. And so I really just hope that they come around, as stubborn as some of them are. But we know that in prophecy it says that a third of them don't. And I know that we've done this before, and that God is pretty set on not allowing anybody that's still partaking in the shenanigans right now. Not the messages that I get is like, we can't let them do this again, because they're just going to turn around and continue to commit the transgressions that they are now, which are far worse than anything that I speak of. But we all are aware of the darkness that really goes on behind the scenes in this world. So, something's going to have to change very quickly. I just want to say that. And, half the time that's why I get on here, just to be in contact with the people that do listen, that are curious on what and how they should act going forward. And these are all just things to think about. It's a personal free will choice. But at some point, many already have had a change in heart, and many are going to have a change in heart. So it's all good. But for the ones that aren't, there's a place called Mars Realm where the light doesn't shine, and you get some kind of a high-rise building, So they mix like the Agenda 21 with the New World Order, this, that. They're mixing everything together. They're trying to like turn humanity against the new reign of Christ and the new government that we're building and all of this stuff. But at the same time, it's very odd. So they're mixing stuff up. The things that they do, like the agendas that they have, they're putting it out there as if it's ours when it's completely not. Like, we could never do anything like that, nor would we plan to. So it's very silly. Oh yeah, frozen fruits are good. I know that for me, I've been using trace minerals and copper every few days, every so often. Vitamin Bs are really, really good for energy and for the brain changes, because our brain is changing. The reptilian aspects of our brain are actually leaving. The gray matter of our brain is actually leaving. Our body is actually squeezing it out. So that's why we have all of these really strange things go on that we've never felt before in all of our years, because the body is up to a process that, going back to its original blueprint without all the stuff. And also fear is the killer, and we were just the victims of it. So death and all of this is a lot of times just from programming and fear. Like a virus is made to trick the body into killing itself. So many times, but it does take time to heal from all of this. So it doesn't mean that just because you're not instantaneously, but if you'll notice, each day, even if it's slow, you get better and better and better each day. It's not like, you get worse. I know that a lot of people go through periods where they have migraines, but then that does pass. So just allow that and just do whatever you can. I know Celtic salt helps me, like, just to suck on it. It's not like fun, but it really, really helps, because we're electric, because we're going from magnetic, getting rid of the iron back to electrical. And even soaking in a salt bath, or even just doing a foot bath with a lot of Epsom salt, makes such a huge difference in the way you feel. And greens, like throwing greens into the smoothie, there's something about greens. I know when I was at my not feeling bestest, I took chlorophyll drops and I felt so much better so quickly. Yeah, we are evolving, exactly, but it's quickly. It's fast. It's not what science told us. Thank you, Florida Sky Watcher. Yeah, boron, absolutely. Boron is a good one. That helped me when I had really a foggy brain. I would take a boron supplement, or there's info out there on how to take little bits of borax, which people would think is poison, but it's actually a completely natural substance. It's just a mineral that we should be getting anyway, that's been stripped from our foods. Yep. So they have the supplements, and that is in trace minerals as well. But it will clear your mind overnight. Literally overnight. You will notice a difference if you're having the foggy headedness and all of that. It's amazing. Well, I will ask you to go into the description of this video and my last couple videos. I'm afraid if I put all of this information in this video, it won't get out, but hey, maybe it will, maybe it won't. All I can do is try. All I can do is really, really try with all my might, and that is what I do. And but we were talking about the morning star of your own, and how you kind of have to realize these things, because the ones of us that have gone through this, like many of us in the chat, and the ones that, are more on the other side of it, we know what helped. We know how to get through it. That's why we're supposed to guide the people. That's why it's important that people do acknowledge that the Christ is not a savior, so to speak, but it is. Christ is a savior, right? But it's not that Jesus wants worship, or that the Christ entities, the Christed entities that are here right now want worship or anything like that. But we know that we can pull you into the new world. We can help you up that ascension spiral. We can help you up the cosmic conscious spiral. Physically, mentally, we can help you with the fear. We can help you with what worked for us. We are definitely healers, And so that's why it's so important that this information does get out. So, Yeah. Iodine was a really big one for me. I took sea kelp iodine, and that was extremely helpful. I have a list in my About section that if you look on my About, hey Cosmic Dust Gal, what's up? If you look at my About section, I do list a few things in there that helped me along the way, but we've pretty much named them all here. And we'll continue to talk about these things as more and more people start gravitating towards us and finding us, because they're coming. They're coming. It'll be soon. Yeah, that's yours. No doubt. No doubt. I do hear that mushrooms are amazing, but I already I feel like the DMT is already running through the air. So I personally don't need to take anything. CBD, cannabis, is amazing as a healer and many other things. So if that's your thing, by all means, don't feel guilty about that. That's what really breaks the mind control. So a lot of us lifetime so-called potheads, that's probably one reason why we are not indoctrinated, is because it does break the mind control. It shows you what's really going on, when you smoke. That's why right now I'm keeping a clear head, because I have a lot to focus on at any given moment, and I just would like to keep a clear head right now, and it was a suggestion to me. I'm not sure how I feel about it right now, but I've gotten messages that it's amazing. Any of the metals that are stripped from our foods, so I think, yeah, for sure. I think definitely, yeah, calcium and magnesium. I have a magnesium oil spray that saved my life so many times. It was better than a Xanax, because I was definitely on prescription medications after I had stopped drinking, but kind of getting back. I had been sober, I had gone through AA, and I was just living life, and I just started to not feel well. And that's what they gave me when I went to the doctor, of course, to say, hey, my health doesn't feel right. They gave me iron and Klonopin. So that's the universal, shut you up, get you out of my office drug. And I don't know what other effects it has, but I was glad to be able to stop taking it within a few months after it was re-prescribed. But of course that just makes your anxiety all worked up again. So I found magnesium cures depression. Magnesium oil spray would be better than an anti-anxiety drug for me, and still to this day. And then also I had a lot of neck problems. I have heard, well, I say I've heard, I get messages and in my studies and my experience that the marriage to God is in the neck. It's a kiss on the neck from God. So I understood that so clearly, and I used a lot of the magnesium spray on my neck when I was having issues. I have no neck issues now, ever. I literally don't have any issues anymore, you guys. I feel so good. Better than I ever expected to. It's quite amazing. Iron is horrible. Somehow I knew that my whole life. I knew it. Hey, what's up, Linnea? Good to see you. I loved your last video. So I did do a really great list of, if you're interested about the omniverse and the multiverse and how it works and how it's tied in with us. I didn't speak about it so much as I put it in my video titled Morning Star of Your Very Own. See description. So if you will go there and take a look, I don't know if it's appropriate for me to sit here and read the whole thing, but there's so much good information there that will answer a question for anybody, if not many. And this isn't just, these aren't just messages that I come up with clairvoyantly or anything. I've recorded these over a long period of time in gematria, and my cross-referencing them and cross-referencing them with my experience and many other ways. A lot of times will go and research history and find true history. You can actually find truth in mythology, and the fact that we live in a multiverse, now we can start to understand how mythology could even be a thing. Like, we can create anything, and that is what we're going to be doing. A lot of what we're seeing in the clouds that some of us are able to see, those are ascended beings and spirits, but also dark matter that we are creating with. So it's quite amazing. It's really, really, truly the best time. And I just want it to be glorified. I want more and more to be excited about it. But everything we see, everything that surrounded everybody up until this point was made to cause fear. Now, I don't understand why you would want an entire society of people that were just fearful. What's that going to do right now? I guess they thought that it might draw, like, Armageddon to them or something, but that's not happening. There's no more bloodshed for Christ's people, and the ones that don't understand are lifted up by the ones that have already gone through this. So there's a lot of good information. The omniverse was made for man, not the man for the omniverse. In order to be crowned with your very own morning star as a sovereign king, where you make the rules in your reality and you write the laws, you help write the laws for New Earth, it's important to understand that the one who was sent by God, known as the Son of Man or Jesus, or, and I speak a lot about how the very first begotten Son was Queen Inanna. The spirit is androgynous, so doesn't necessarily identify as only a woman. The first begotten Son is Queen Inanna. So that was the original DNA, and like I said, there's a couple of there's more. There's more. There's so much more to it, and I can't wait to pull all of that stuff together. But But yeah, so they will also receive the morning star. And they will be sovereign, connected to God, and they will know that Jesus is Lord and Master to the Almighty God. We now have the chance to make the dream a reality. While we are in a collective dream of God, that's nothing new. I've spoken about that before. We now have the chance to make that dream a reality. Kind of like, with Noah, when I spoke, he lived for hundreds and hundreds of years in happiness and abundance and joy. That's what we're stepping into. That's what the 1,000-year reign of Christ is. It's not the Roman Christ thing that, Jeffrey had me going about, which is why I jumped on here. And I want everybody that heard that show, if they care, to hear my show. So if you know any of them, share this with them, please. Because he's talking about getting young people to listen. Like, this is scary. It's very scary to me. So please. Yes, Tiki Love. Yes. Yeah, so the dreamscape, which is 4D, is what the controllers are claiming is heaven. But we know that the fifth dimension and beyond is God's mansion, and that it is heaven on earth. So we were able to open the higher realms, and 4D is not heaven. And that's why we are able to override the things that have been programmed into this world. It might be taking a little time, but it's happening. It's absolutely happening. We are in a never-ending story, but we are creating the end and entering into everlasting life. So there's not going to be a bunch of repeating it. We're entering into the everlasting life part of it. And now you shrink from the howling winds and muttering thunders. Then you shall see how they beat back the waters of destruction and opened up your way to the goodly land of promise. So this is the promised land, and it is a higher consciousness, but there will be a separation. There will be a separation of realms at some point, or a fixing of realms, or a rearranging, reassigning planetary moon gods, things like that. So that is all happening, and that's why it's important to really kind of get together, figure out who Christ's people are, because we have really big jobs ahead of us, but in the most amazing ways. We literally are going to inherit this earth. We already have, but we're literally going to get positions and everything else. It's going to be really amazing. So I can't wait. I can't wait. But there's many that are in this 4D realm, or that are able to travel to the 4D realm, but they're third dimensional beings still. And they understand that there is a way of escape out of the prison control matrix through Jesus, but they're hiding that from people. Another reason that I got on here today. And wait, what was that up here? Let me see. Yeah. Yes. Hey, what's up, All Rider? Well, okay, so, they understand that there is an escape, but they're trying to take that crown. They're trying to usurp that, just like their daddy. But that's not going to happen, and they're just going to find themselves in more and more and more crap, like up the creek, and I don't like to see people fall. I don't like to see people hurting or like having hardships, having a hard time. I know what it's like to have a hard time. I don't want to see anybody have to have a hard time. So, please, stop trampling the Son of God underfoot and insulting the Spirit of grace. It's very important for you, so that you don't have to experience hard times like many of us have had to. That's the great part. There's all these stories that are in the Bible that reflect the true God, that speak about those facts, that Christ was being spit on, and not that we're supposed to like just forgive the people that are continuing to transgress against us, but if they stop, then immediately it's like when they have a change in heart, we forget about it. It's like we completely forget about, and give them another chance. But the great thing about the connection to God and what's happening with us physically and everything with this reconnecting to the Spirit, like God is able to do all of that for us. We don't have to sit here and make judgments or decide what's going to happen to people. Like, it kind of all works itself out. It's quite amazing. Quite amazing. I'm sure we'll understand that more and more as time goes on. Let me see, read a couple more, and then definitely please read these for yourself. But yeah, the book has been opened, so the time has begun. But yeah, we will all see for ourselves with our own eyes as we ascend to the higher realms. We will continue to understand everything, and it's only going to become more and more beautiful. We were in a fight for our souls, but many of us have passed the test or whatever, which we understand what it means not to hurt another, not to oppress humanity for your own gain, not to do anything that's going to prevent somebody's success or happiness. Those are all very important things. And once you understand that, then you have a pure heart and you enter into the higher realms. It's very, very, very amazing. All right, you guys, I love you so much. And thank you for being here. Yeah, taking this baby back. That's right. So I don't know, there's going to be a lot of back and forth, but you just have to continue to listen to your heart. And there's still good information. If you're listen to everybody, just remember some of these things until you can clearly read your heart. Because I've been doing this, watching this closely for a while now. So if you didn't know where I was coming from before, just kind of keep these things in mind as you listen. And I think that you'll have no problem discerning for yourself what's what. And yeah, I love you. Yeah, I know. It's like, who would want to live in this crazy system? Well, now we know that we're inheriting the earth, that we are going to have perfect health and joy. There's not going to be all these bad emotions and bad feelings and people there's like not going to be a bunch of accidents and craziness. It's going to be amazing. We got a quantum one up and it's going to be awesome. So it's definitely worth it. But yeah, heaven is a place on earth. Who knew? Now we know. Love you guys. Have a good night, and I will speak with you very soon, I hope. All right, peace out. Love it. Thanks for being here. Thank you. Yeah, all righter, you should listen again. Listen again. I know I'm long-winded. Listen again. All right, peace out.